Welcome back. The best thing about this Evanescence shirt that I got at the concert I went to a couple months back, it looks like it's covered in cat hair. Having cats, that works. So do your worst, cats. The funny thing is, I saw this the other day in my bedroom, and I was like, what cat was sleeping on that? None. It's just how the shirt looks. Anyways, so I wanted to talk about the challenge. I finally got to see the season finale today, the end of the final. And I have some opinions. First off, I feel like Kyland was done dirty by how they set up the final. So it was like 40, 50 miles of swimming. I know it wasn't that far, but it feels like it. And Kyland is not a strong swimmer. The fact that every single checkpoint required a lot of swimming meant there was no chance he was going to win. And just that look on his face when he realized it was going to be all swimming, I felt that. Because the whole season it's been fights in the sand for elimination. It's been various challenges. Sometimes there's a little bit of swimming involved, but this was all swimming. I know there was some negative reaction to the first half of the final. I think the final was more grueling than it was entertaining. I think that's part of it. I think that the challenges weren't that entertaining or that complicated. It was grueling. It was terrible. I will say that I was happy about the final eight. The final eight they had in there are all people that I like, and I felt like Jenny was kind of done wrong by her era early on. And well, you're in again, you're in again, you're in again. It's like she won all the eliminations she had to, and so and here's where spoilers come in. So if you haven't seen the finale, but if you're watching this, you probably have. Jenny shares the winner's purse with Rachel. And that's what I wanted to see happen. In fact, what's funny is that with Rachel and Jenny sharing the winner's purse on the women's side, and Johnny Bananas coming in third on the men's side, between the three of them, they get exactly $500,000. So I think that's kind of funny because Johnny gets 25 grand just because Kyland ends up not getting anything because he's not a strong swimmer. And it's a lot of swimming. I think almost anybody would be having a hard time with that amount of swimming. And I felt bad for Tori too because before the final, she was treading water for 3 hours against Cara Maria. And so she wins, but now she's been treading water for 3 hours, and the entire final is also swimming. So, like, her muscles had to be just absolutely dead by the end of this. In fact, I got the feeling that first night she was probably done. Jenny made a brilliant move, though. So they were doing this stupid challenge. I don't like the overnight thing. I think they should just let them sleep. I do. I understand that it's a challenge tradition that they don't get to sleep in between the first day and the second day, or at least they don't get very much sleep. But I think it's dumb. So they had to count coins for 30 minutes. So count how many coins they had. And the bag was flipping massive. There were 6,000 coins approximately in each one. And then they had to sing for 30 minutes. They had to sing a song for 30 minutes constantly and just repeat. And then they go back to the coins, back to the song, back to. It didn't make for great TV, and it wasn't entertaining to watch either. And then Jenny eventually just goes, you know what? Screw it. And she just starts just throwing in all the coins. She's like, I'll just guess. And she didn't get last. She did not get last because Tori took all night and she overcounted badly because she took so long and you could see she just was not with it. And while Tori, going into this season, she was my favorite on the ladies' side, Bananas would have been my favorite on the men's side. I came out of this going, you know what? No. Jordan. And this is the other thing. So you have the swimming, which is a punishment to Kylan because he's not a strong swimmer. Jordan's a triathlete. So the final was made for him. So, like, every checkpoint, he wins. Ta-da! And he kept saying, oh, I don't know, I'm worried about the karma vote. So during the season, of course, you have people, when they're eliminated, they give a karma vote. So between 1 and 5, you rate all the players. And Jordan was like, I'm worried about the karma vote. Why? Like, Jordan didn't tick anybody off this season. Most of the people who already didn't like him probably still didn't like him, but Johnny Bananas has made a lot of enemies. Derek's the one that I think he might have been nervous about, but Derek was behind him in every single checkpoint, other than, I think, the coins. I think that was won by Derek. That's the one that was won by Derek, and then every other one was won by Jordan. But yeah, Jordan wins it. That's the right call. He's a beast. Next season, if he's back, I'm guessing they try to take him out early because he is that good. And good luck with that. And I will say this too. Before this season, I found Michelle to be kind of irritating. I was not a Michelle fan. I've watched her on two different seasons of the challenge, and I've not been a fan of hers. But this season, she put in the work, and she honestly overcame a lot. And I have a lot of respect for her. I was glad she won some money in that final as well. She played a really good game. Her mistake may very well have been going against Johnny Bananas and stirring up some drama because that hurt her with the karma vote. People that were leaving were voting her low, whereas Rachel got high votes. Rachel gets along with almost everybody, so there were a couple that voted Rachel low, but I knew the karma vote would help Rachel, and it did. It got her all the way up into a tie for first with Jenny, so I was very happy for them. I was happy for Johnny that he did pretty well considering that, and he did point this out too, that on day one of the final that his hips were killing him and that it's hard when you're older. Yes, it is. That it absolutely is. It is harder to stay in shape. It is harder to get in shape, and it is harder to keep up as you get older. And I think that's part of the reason why Era One got whittled down so quickly, which really makes me respect Rachel more and more and more because they kept putting her in. They kept putting her into eliminations, and she kept winning. So yeah, she earned her spot. I thought all 8 that were in that final earned their spot. I just wish it wasn't all swimming because Kylan probably would have done better if it wasn't all swimming. So even I think Tori in the second half of the final said she's going to have to work on her swimming before she goes into the next one. Yep. I would imagine a lot of people will, but next year they probably won't do swimming. Although the All Star one's coming up, I'm not going to be watching that one. I actually canceled my Paramount subscription as soon as I was done watching that finale. That's the only reason I subscribed to Paramount Plus, because I was 15 episodes into the season and then MTV Canada is gone. So all those shows are just gone as well off the on demand, and they're just gone. Like the listing still shows up under on demand, but when you click on it, there's no episodes. There's nothing there because it's all on Paramount Plus now. So way to do a bang up job. I don't like it. I don't like this era now of, wait, where did my show go? Now it's on that service. Well, I don't have that service. Well, now I need to get that service. And then I was going to cancel Apple TV, like Apple Plus, but Severance is coming back, and Severance is one of the best shows in the history of television. Absolutely bonkers. I can't wait for season 2, and we've been waiting a long time for season 2. So at any rate, and last night watching the first episode of The American Traders, the difference between the two shows is just insane. So even though they do the same challenges, they do them a little different. And because the personalities are different, one thing that I noticed, and this is just quick traders talk at the end of this here, was that on the British version where they do this challenge, men and women both were treated equally, and okay, we're gonna have to get rid of certain people for this, so okay, you can go and you can go. But the American one, which is mostly reality TV show celebrities, they were just trying to get the women out of the boat. They're like, all right, which women want to go now? And it's like, why does a woman have to, why? Kind of being like, well, it's rowing, so clearly that's a man's thing, so women are going to have to go. That's not true, actually. And going back to the challenge, what was key was in that final, the women outperformed the men. Rachel pointed out she was second in the women's race, but she was way ahead of all the men. She was like, yeah, the women in this are absolute beasts. The men are behind us. And so she was really kind of proud of that. And I thought, yep, that's kind of fun that you have men and women who are competing with each other, where you have 4 women and 4 men, and you have a top woman and a top man. But the women were, I thought, better than the men in the final, and that's kind of fun. Although Jordan was, the guy was an absolute beast. Just, I don't understand how he got all the way to the final. I don't understand why he was never a target. I don't. I feel like you guys left that beast in there, and then you just take. It reminds me of Chris from a couple seasons ago, and I think that was Challenge USA, where every week they were putting Chris in, and every week Chris was pegging off one of their guys, and it's like, you need to stop putting Chris into the eliminations because he's taking out all your allies, and then he won. So there you go. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support as always. If you haven't already hit like and subscribe, please do. I just wanted to talk about what I watched today and share with all you fine people. Let me know your thoughts if you watched this season of the challenge. And of course, it's Challenge 40, Battle of the Eras. I didn't think the Eras thing was as much of a hook as I think they'd intended. Once they were individuals rather than teams, it was much more entertaining than when it was teams. So we'll see what they do for season 41 and if I'm able to watch it or if it's going to stay on Paramount Plus. Because I'm not subscribing $10 a month to a service just to watch one show for 20 weeks a year. I'm not doing it. So there you go. Thank you guys so much for all your support. Do hit like and subscribe, and I will talk to you again soon.